Welcome back to another session of Crituitous RP. Before we begin tonight, some quick announcements. Just got to get through these. If you aren't... Oh, 1 second. I can hear myself. There we go. All right. If you aren't in our Patreon Discord channel, then you missed out on our out-of-session RP this week. Now, to explain the Campfire RP briefly to everyone, these players, to help them get into the character position and to help them get to know one another better in character, roleplay in chat throughout the week between sessions. So, but not to worry about missing it, because you can always catch up on player interactions on our blog at crituitousrp.tumblr.com. That link will be in the chat. And if you would like to see the RP as it happens, become a patron. Patrons get the warm, fuzzy feeling that comes with supporting this channel, and also get some other perks, including playing with us once a month. Not on stream, but in a little games night. Now, all of which you can check out at patreon.com/Teavant. The link is also going to be in chat. Now, we are at Crituitous RP on Twitter. If you want to stay up to date on our latest developments or just get the occasional amusing GIF, follow us there. Link is also going to be in the chat. And we would lastly like to welcome our new followers from this past week. If you followed us previously, we apologize for not catching up with you, but those that joined us this past week were Kitchen X Ninja, PE300, Dork Vision, Super Mega Kami Guru, and Cool Dead 89. So, welcome everyone to Crituitous RP. Previously, on our adventure together, our heroes had started within the city of Baldur's Gate, where through happenstance they all ended up involved in or witness to a murder. The murder was of an individual named Sandir, a colleague of Grigory. Now, this Sandir happened to be a red wizard, or at least associated with them. He was running from something. He hired the ship that had Zola and Avarine on the ship to get to Baldur's Gate as quickly as possible, ran into Carmen, then an explosion happened and he ran away. Didn't quite see the blue furbolg named Tower now, just before he got murdered. All of this was witnessed through a vision by Gregory. Connecting one another, the group headed immediately back to Chult. Sandir was obviously running from something, and something needs to be discovered from that. So we ended the session with the party in the home of Zola's patron, Xanthi, one of the merchant princes in the city of Port Nyanzarum. Zola had just recently made a deal with Gregory that her son, Shargo, will guide them through whatever land in Chult that they need, as long as they take Zola with them and keep her safe. Shargo can be found in Fort Belwarian, just outside of Port Nyanzarum. She also suggested to you all that if ever you need any knowledge, if ever you need any answers, then the Temple of Savras is the place to go. So, we rejoin the adventuring party, still in the merchant prince's home. So let's shift over to there. Right where we left off. So, what would you guys like to do?
Do you guys want to go see the Ankylos?
Yeah.
Aye.
Let's do that.
Xanthi had said something else about exchanging our armor. I guess.
Yes, she offered to replace any armor that you currently have with the equivalent, but a little bit thinner, lighter, more colourful, more fit for the jungles of Chult.
New character skins. Woo!
Is there a mechanical advantage to this other armor, or is this cosmetic? You would get from a loot crate or something.
If you're not wearing heavy armor, there's no difference. If your character is the kind of character that would be wearing heavy armor, then there would be a severe difference in that heavy armor is going to get boggy and heavy, and it's going to make it difficult to move through the jungle.
So if she has the ability to trade out any medium armor, and I have an inferior medium armor, would
Nope.
I was gonna say, could I just compliment her on her selection of armors? This is all I was going to suggest.
You can compliment her, but she has a business to run, and she's being generous as it is.
Aye, that she is. To the dinos.
And Tower and Zola were going somewhere while we were getting fresh new duds last we left, right?
Or anyone who wishes to join Zola and Tower in going to see the dinosaurs is welcome to do so, I believe, unless Zola says otherwise.
Nope, everybody's welcome.
Yep, I will be joining if the invitation is open.
Okay. So, Zola, you lead everyone outside of the Merchant Prince's villa, Xanthi's villa, and you head to the grounds around Xanthi's home. Now, since Xanthi is a merchant prince or princess, kind of, as part of the wealthiest people from Chult and in Port Nyanzaru, at least, she has a nice little garden. Within the garden, there are lots of little creatures that run around from time to time, and it doesn't take long before you guys are sat outside when you see a tiny little Ankylosaurus, I think is the tiny ones. No, which one's
Ankylos are enormous, and
Enormous
they are
ones.
covered in plate.
I'm thinking of the tiny ones. Mind has gone blank.
Gotta go watch Jurassic Park again.
But do they say all the tiny little names? Bear with me 1 second while I double check this.
Velociraptors.
No, then.
They're a little too aggressive to be garden variety animals, though I was thinking about that.
Dimetrodon.
Jimmy, don't.
Yeah, Dimetrodons. There we go.
Dimetrodons.
The little Dimetrodons just running around as if they were vermins within the city. You lead away from there, and to see the bigger dinosaurs, you'll have to actually leave the Port Nyanzaru city walls. So, since we're leaving there, let's jump back to the map of Port Nyanzaru.
Tower's going to take a good look at those Dimetrodon.
Yeah. What's Zola? What were you specifically going to take him to?
Well, I was figuring, what with mammals being too hot-blooded for working, I was figuring he had like a couple of ankylos tied to a wagon to carry around merchandise and stuff. I thought that was
so. Within the city, the ankylos are a bit too. Remembering which ones are ankylos, they're a bit too big for that specifically. The larger creatures are used outside, particularly these ones would be used in as mules, effectively, outside the city, or over by the Executioner's Run. You could take them to the Executioner's Run if you'd like to show them that.
That's okay. I'm gonna show them all the nice things about Port Nyanzaru.
Okay.
We have no bad things here. It's a wonderful place.
So there are pens. Go ahead.
Cool. Where's my above intimidation? There it is.
Port Nyanzara must be the best place in town.
Wow, so nice.
Best place in the world. There are pens outside the city proper with a wide variety of creatures. One section of these pens has a particular group of dinosaurs that have been separated from the rest. These are each individually being taken care of by one single trainer. And in this separate pen, Zola, you would know this is where the racing dinosaurs are kept.
These are the thoroughbreds.
Tower, you said something. Sorry, I cut you off earlier.
He was just going to pay attention to. He's obviously trying to study each of these animals to see if there's something he could possibly turn into. I don't know how long I'd have to observe something like that to take its form.
At least a couple minutes, an hour or so of really assessing it. Your own personal little ritual of sorts to be able to learn its capabilities. I don't think there are any mechanical rules to it. Okay.
How are these animals treated? Are they in like small cages or in open?
It's a fairly open area, though obviously they are separated. There are some that are carnivorous dinosaurs. Those that are carnivorous are usually bred specifically for entertainment. And you can quickly see that. So some of the velociraptors, or in fact, the Tyrannosaurus Rex that is there in the pen, these are bred for the races and for the fighting pits. As such, they are covered in scars. They look like they've been through a lot. They're very angry looking, though they are very muscly, lean animals. Barely any excess weight to them. But the casual herbivores, there we go. The herbivores are just kept in one large open pen together.
How well nourished are they?
Well enough, because they're used as more like service animals. So they have to be taken care of to keep them in highest capability.
He's gonna approach Soda. Why do those animals have so many scars?
Oh, those. They are bred to fight. It's not my thing, but it exists, sadly, in the city.
That is barbaric.
Unfortunately, to free them now would not be a good idea. They're so changed in their ways that it would just be mass destruction. Sorry, you have to see this. Let's go over here, though. These guys over here are treated very well.
He's trying to hold his temper, and then he's going to walk over, follow Soda.
So what do we got in the herbivore pen?
So, in the herbivore pen, just looking, the monster manual does not say whether or not they're carnivores or herbivores. So, my limited knowledge would seem to indicate that you've got Ankylosaurus, one or two that are in there. They're huge. They take up the majority of the pen. There are two, in fact, a mated pair. They're pretty much the majority that's in there. There are some lesser creatures in this particular area. Just some nope. Gargantuan, don't want that. Deinonychus. There we go. There's a couple Deinonychus in the pin themselves. Tiny little creatures. That's about it.
I'd like to slowly approach the female ankylo.
Okay, you are going to have to roll an animal handling check. I'm sorry if my knowledge of dinosaurs is not well enough to be able to tell whether or not a Deinonychus is a herbivore or someone that's watching in the chat. Can you tell me if a Deinonychus is a herbivore or a carnivore? I don't want the players to tell me.
Even if they are carnivores, we can use them like sheepdogs.
Okay.
If the monster manual doesn't say, we could just say they're all herbivores.
Yeah.
They're vegan
That's
dinosaurs.
not dangerous enough. If the dust man doesn't say they're all man eaters.
They'll all fight you given a bad enough animal handling check. Speaking of which, Zola, your animal handling check is well enough to begin to approach, but you are quickly stopped by one of the Chilton workers as he says, "Please do not touch the animals."
Okay.
This is not a petting zoo. If you want to touch the animals, you must buy them.
Where's Xanthes?
Xanthes in particular?
Yeah, that's what we were interested in coming to see, because I wanted to see if I could allow Tower to actually make physical contact with one of our working dinos.
Oh, right. Okay. So, like, I completely misunderstood. Sorry. Then you'll be able to go specific there. You have a stable set up. T-Rex is definitely not a herbivore, and don't hide behind the silver tree, Carl. All right. Sorry. Yeah, you can go. She's got a little stable out back where she keeps a couple. Not a lot, but a couple. Within the actual city proper, the majority of the task work is done by Triceratops. Okay.
Right.
So
I didn't want
she
to.
will have 2 Triceratops that will actually be the work animals.
Perfect. I'll approach them and see how skittish they are, and if they're not skittish at all, I'll beckon Tower over.
The Triceratops have been bred around humanoids since birth, so they are more than welcoming to you. They barely even bat an eyelash as you approach.
Grab a handful of veggies and just plop them into Tower's hands, and then push him forward.
He's pretty calm and fun, and he's going to sort of stroke run his hand down the horns and then down to the brow and then feed and sort of say to the animal, "Do you like it here? Do they treat you well?" And I'm going to use his Furbolg speech of beast and leaf ability. You have the ability to communicate in a limited manner with beasts and plants. They can understand the meaning of your words, though I have no special ability to understand them in return.
Okay. A huge, thick tongue reaches out and just kind of scoops up the food that's in your hands, leaving a whole bunch of slobber all over them. The manner in which these beasts devour the food seems like they're pretty well fed. They're happy. They're not eating it so quick that you would assume they're not being fed, but also they are eating well. The food that you're providing to them is actually quite high quality. It's clean. It's specific types of veg that is designed for them specifically. And while they can't communicate back, you do get a sense that they are happy, content, treated well. From their understanding.
Okay. He's just going to continue just to walk around the beasts and sort of admire them and study and just run his hands. These are mighty creatures.
That they are.
Roll an animal handling check for me.
Mm-hmm.
With advantage because you've just fed them. And they like the food.
Shoot.
Okay. All right. With the 20, as you begin stroking them and then walking around them, the one that you had fed begins to just trot behind you. As you move around, it starts moving as if to follow you wherever you're going to go.
That's cute.
This one likes me.
Tower, you got another friend.
I make many friends, apparently. Give it another strike, give it some more food. These are docile animals. But they look powerful.
You are like the Dino Whisperer.
What does this mean?
Whisper, Dino, speak.
I speak quite loudly. Why? Why would you say I whisper?
Never mind.
You confuse me once again.
That's okay. This one's not important.
So, the city of Port Nyanzaru is yours. What would you like to know about the city? Zola is well versed with Port Nyanzaru, so you can ask questions to Zola, and Zola can double check her memory about the city through me.
Well, actually, Grigori wouldn't have gone out dino sighting. He would have stayed and gotten some nice duds, and then chatted with I can get this name, with Xanthi. Just general about the area, the region, her son, who's going to be taking care of us, just that kind of thing.
My Shago is the best guide in all of this part of Jolt.
So you have told me. And Zola, how did she come into your employ?
Zola is not in my employ. Zola is part of the family. She has been with us for a very long time.
How did she first come to be part of the family? You care deeply for her, obviously, based on our deal we've made.
Roll a persuasion check. Okay, 20. I came across Zola a long time ago. I found her and rescued her from many dangers. Since then, she has been like a daughter to me.
Oh, very good. Is there anything I should know about Zola that could help me keep her safe? Her fears, or what motivates her? Those kind of things.
She leans up and takes a full look at you, eyeing up. Roll a persuasion check.
Can I roll a deception check for being trustworthy instead?
Sure, go ahead. Anything you need to know about Zola, you can find out from Zola.
Oh, that is fair enough. Ms., is it Prince Xanthi, Princess Xanthi? What is the appropriate title for one of your eminent stature?
The appropriate title is to not talk to me, but my name is Xanthi. Call me Xanthi.
Well, thank you very much. On that note, I will collect Zola and we will be on our way. Thank you.
Very well. I'll be keeping my eyes on you, Red One.
Oh, I should hope for nothing less. Maybe one day I can impress you as much as Zola did when she first caught your eye. Wink.
We should go back and get that Gregory. We're supposed to be here studying and looking for clues regarding the murder of his colleague.
Oh, yeah, I was also going to ask her if she knew anything about hidden temples or arcane knowledge lost in the jungles that Sandir was looking into. I forgot about that, sorry.
She has no knowledge about what Xandir was looking for. He just paid
That's fine.
heavily for a quick ship out of here.
All right.
So you meet up with Gregory. You'll find him.
I'm hanging out at Xanthi's house, reclined gently in the foyer with a small goblet of wine, just waiting.
Are
You
you
certainly-
enjoying yourself?
Certainly
Oh,
looks
very
like you.
much. Did you enjoy yourselves at the exhibition?
The creatures are glorious as they are ginormous.
Tower made a friend.
Oh, that's wonderful.
They are mighty beasts.
So, what's next? Are we headed to the Thundering Lizard, or are we headed to the Temple of Savras?
I'm interested in hitting this temple of Savras. They're supposed to have all sorts of knowledge.
Yes, I think that would behoove us to go there first.
Let's hit it.
All right, then moving through the area of Port Nine Zaro, you guys were here at Xanthi's home. When you move towards the Temple of Savras, you actually head just a little bit over. Where is it again? Here we go. It's pretty much straight across the street, as it is the huge temple right outside the Merchant Prince's home. As the center of all knowledge that goes on within all of the individual businesses, as each Merchant Prince takes care of their own sector of the city, it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that there is a huge temple to Savras and dedicated to controlling knowledge within the city. Stepping into this large domed structure, you see shrines to Savras all over the place. Statues of Savras in various glorified poses all over the place, and individual priests leading miniature meetings in front of each individual statue. But something stands out to anyone who knows about Savras prior to this. So, out of all of you, go ahead and roll a religion check about what you would know about Savras. And Averine, you can roll with advantage because if
How
you're
should
just
I?
you're already
You want
in
me
there.
to roll as well?
No,
Just
no.
okay.
Okay. So Averine with a 20, Gregory with a 17. Okay. Most temples, all of you get this. Most temples usually are dedicated to the worship of a god. This temple is a little bit different. It's almost like commercialization to the max, as the best part of the worship of Savras is the collection and the building up of knowledge. As a result, each of the priests have begun years ago to sell the knowledge quite a bit. Now, years later, this shrine has been turned into more of a commercial center for information than a temple itself. And Averine, it stands out to you the most, coupled with Carmen, about how easily these people have become more focused on the money than on the worship themselves. Each individual little sect of worship groups that you see doesn't actually take part in any sort of ritual activity. They're just shifting and changing coin and communicating. In one such group, off to one side, you see two individuals. The head priest of this temple, which is easily called out by his green headdress and long robes, the grandfather of the temple, and next to him, a green fellow, a turtle, no less, communicating with him. Stephen, give us a rundown of your character.
Okay, now that I'm not muted. Well, Greco is a young cleric. Oh, that's my picture on there too. Cool. He's a young cleric. He worships Kelemvor, and he is currently in the Temple of Savras trying to get some answers about a tragedy that has recently struck, one of many in his life. And he has light green skin, dark shell. You'll notice his the back of his shell has because you can't tattoo a shell, but there's painted on the back is the skeletal hand holding the scales, which is the holy symbol for Kelemvor. And he, as a turtle, he is stark naked, but he does have a kind of a backpack, I guess, like a kit on, and some like a belt with some pouches, sword and shield, some axes to his side that look to be used much more for utility than for fighting. And yeah, that's Greco. He's just a cute little turtle guy. Oh, and he's short. He's short on the shorter end for a turtle too. So he's like 5'6", and he's about 450 pounds all shell.
So talking to this turtle, the only turtle in Port Nyanzaro, is this older gentleman wearing a big chin strap only white beard, dark skin, big smile on his face, introducing himself to Greco as Grandfather Zitemba. So he is immediately the one that stands out to you as the head of the temple and the one to get the best information from. So what would you guys like to do?
Zola, I presume you know the way around. Please lead the way.
I'll literally walk right up to Grandfather Zatimba and the turtle, and I'll just stand there, and I'll be like, done.
Greco looks at the I guess not down, pretty much eye to eye with the small the lizardy or snaky person that just came on up. Hello, young thing. I was just here trying to get some information from Grandfather Zitembe.
We can wait.
Thank you.
So, as we were saying.
Yes. Grandfather, I come to the Temple of Savras seeking knowledge. There has been recent activities that have caused great distress to myself as a worshipper of the god Kelemvor, whom I am sure you are familiar with.
It is a shame. What can I do about it?
I would like to learn as much as I can about the red mages, red wizards. They were all wearing red, and they seem to be connected to something much larger than just a simple attack on a small village.
Red wizards that wear red. I don't think I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna roll insight because I think he's being mean.
Go ahead and roll insight. It's pretty easy to tell that what he means right now is fill his coin purse a little bit and you can have the information you need.
Grandfather, we are both servitors of a greater force. Surely you must understand the implications that these wizards have placed on the cosmic balance and the way of nature.
Of course. But you must understand that certain things must be done before any sort of information can be gained from a donation to this Temple of Savras would be perfect in this opportunity.
Frankly, Grandfather, the Temple of Savras will have very little to stand for if there is no world for which it can stand.
Roll a persuasion check.
Not going to go well.
Zola's standing there, by the way, also doing this face.
Ooh.
He looks around at your 18.
I actually just thought like it's a number 18.
Okay. Tell me a little about your village. And maybe I can tell you a little about the attack and the people that did it.
Thank you for your great and wise consideration. My town, my village, was attacked in the night by a band of red wizards. I know not much about how they differed from any others of their ilk, if they were standard, if they were extremists. But I do know this. My mentor was killed, and he carefully gestures to his sword without pulling it out of the sheath to look as though he was, harming himself. This jewel at the hilt of my sword contains something of my mentor. All I know is that he is not returned to the proper way of life and death. And this is a portent of bad futures and bad times.
Do I recognize this conversation about red wizards and red robes and stuff?
Absolutely. All of you can overhear the fact that you're hunting for red wizards, so is the green turtle. It's like fate intervened and gathered the six of you into the same room.
What a funny happenstance.
Okay. He says, may I take a look at the sword and the piece of your mentor?
Pulls the sword out and hands it, holding one end in his hand, the other hand in his other. So he's clearly not at all threatening, so nobody else would perceive it as such. He's just offering it up.
He picks it up, looks at it. The pearl at the end is practically translucent. You can see a bit of a white silvery mist within the inside of the underneath the shell of the pearl. This is strange magic. I must confess, I know nothing of this type. But I do know something about the red wizards of which you seek. The red wizards have been working in Chult for a few years now. And in fact, they came to me for information, and they paid very heavily for it. So, what I can give you is, if you want to learn more about the red wizards, you must visit the old city of Mesro. I'll type that out into the chat for you. The ancient city of Mesro was once the greatest city in Chult, or one of the greatest cities. Sadly, in a war that involved a horde of undead, the city was lost. If you go to Mesro, which is on the eastern coast of the peninsula, there you will find answers about the red wizards. You may even find some red wizards yourself. But do be careful. They are not to be trifled with.
Thank you. Thank you, grandfather, for your imparting of wisdom. Gonna look around just the chamber. Where may I place a donation to Savras in order to give thanks for his impartment of wisdom and knowledge?
He goes into his little pack, lifts open a big bag.
I'll plink I don't know how many gold pieces is a good amount to give for this. Put 5 gold pieces in there.
Okay. He looks at it. Thank you for your offering to Savras.
Much obliged.
So, if that is everything from you, he turns to Zola and says, little one, how may I serve you? How may Savras serve you today?
Hello. Do you guys have any additional questions?
So would Averine saw Sandir, and Sandir was wearing red robes, but that could just be any guy in red robes. With the discussion that we just overheard with multiple wizards in red robes, would Averine be able to ascertain that these are red wizards of Thay?
Yes. That is easily understood that by the garb that you would have seen, because a red wizard isn't just a wizard who wears red. There are very certain types of ornaments that they have on their red garb, and you would have recognized them either from the actual shriveled up body of Sandir, or also descriptions of the wizards that apparently Greco is looking for.
And do we or do I know of the reputations of the red wizards of Thay?
Yes, you do. You do.
For everyone else's benefit.
Red wizards typically are lawful evil. Like, just generally, that's just the way it is. They are always focused on the empire of Thay and building it up, and they are typically either themselves or servants to liches or demi-liches. It is very common that red wizards work with undead from time to time. Now, to be a red wizard, you must, I believe, you must give up access to one particular school of magic, if I remember that correctly. And as such, you focus on your own. So with red wizards, you often find they travel in groups of wizards who specialize in one particular avenue and don't go outside of it. So when you come across an evoker red wizard, he would be a red wizard who is dedicated to evocation magic. The more powerful red wizards tend to be the ones that are dedicated towards necromancy. And you know to stay clear from the necromancy red wizards. As such, it is, if you know red wizards and are able to examine one close enough, you can tell by the garb which one they follow. You couldn't from Sandir, which would have seemed to suggest that he's not high up in the red wizardry, such that he hasn't dedicated himself towards one particular school. Is there anything else that you would like to know about red wizards?
Yep, that's tremendous.
Sorry. Carmen, were you going to... You're quite the chatterbox and very sociable. Perhaps you'd like to go and ask him some questions. On the papers Sandir had, there was something about soulmonger, power, gods. Maybe they know something about that you could be so kind as to go over and chat him up a little bit. As personable as you are, I would myself, but these can be a little off-putting, you know.
Of course. So I'm going to, I will slowly strut towards them and maybe have some kind of music, like just playing in the background, and just approach and go, "Hello."
Hello, little one. Young one, how may I help you?
Well, I am here just on a few travels, and somebody told me that maybe I should come speak to you because you seem to be a man who knows a lot of things.
Oh, he is.
I'd
He is
like to
very
chat.
much so.
You have come to the right place, young one. The Temple of Severus has all the answers that you seek.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Tell me, is there anything that is the topic of conversation at the moment?
Well, one second. I actually have notes on this.
It's that wonderful moment when your notes actually get used because every
right?
hook is bit.
Well, it would seem that these days people like big honker, and big honker is where to put the money.
Right. Okay. Tell me, what's your favourite colour?
My favorite color. For that,
Oh, really?
I would like a donation to the church.
That's quite
So
sad.
clearly his favorite color is gold.
What
He
colour is he wearing?
Pat you on your head. Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is green your favourite colour? You wear it so well.
He rolls his eyes. Look, I am here as a servant of knowledge to give important answers. Little questions such as that can be gathered from other people.
You see, my favourite colour's red. And the reason why I like to mention colours is because I've been hearing that maybe I should ask about just some people who may be wearing some red recently around here. Something which maybe I could help with or assist with. But do you know of anyone that's kind of come through here wearing red robes or anything I should know about perhaps? And I could wink at him and look at his little money pot if that helps.
Roll a
Greco is
persuasion
looking
check.
very like, oh my god, wait, this person knows about this too? This is huge.
It would seem that information about these wizards is a hot commodity right now. So, I can make you a special deal.
I'm listening.
If you would make a donation of 20 gold, I will tell you what I know about the Red Wizards.
Ooh. How about, do you have a favourite song you'd like to hear?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
You feel a press in your hand, Carmen, behind you as 20 gold coins are put in your palm.
Oh! There we go.
Take it, put it in his butt. Very well. So, if you would like to find out anything about the Red Wizards, you can go to the city of Mesro.
Oh. I was expecting a little weeny bit more than that.
Well, how long ago did Undead come cover it up?
Undead?
Yeah,
Oh, that-
you said something about Mesro having fallen to the Undead. How long
That
ago was that?
was about... Well, that was a few centuries ago.
Oh, and since then it's been stable Undead territory.
It was during the Spell Plague that the Undead attacked the city. The city was lost. Or, well, just before the Spell Plague started.
Has anybody come back from that region in the recent years?
Oh, no. Anyone that took a journey into Mesro hasn't come back. But the jungles around Mesro are very dangerous. If you wish to go there, you need to get a very good guide.
We happen to know the best.
Ah, and you've met Azaka too.
Gesundheit.
You don't know who Azaka Stormfang is? No?
Well, we know who Azaka is, but we want to know if you know who Azaka is.
Azaka Stormfang is the best tracker and guide and hunter in all of Port Nine Sorrow.
I think that's like your opinion, man.
Well, in a place dedicated to knowledge, I know.
How do you prove something like that?
I'm right.
That's not how it works.
I'm afraid in my temple, it is how it works.
Okay, you win.
Very well.
Are you always right?
Always right.
Okay. One final question, and I won't ask your favourite colour or anything silly. I'm going to step closer to him, lean in, give him a bit of a serious look, and just ask, so what do you know about the Soulmonger?
What do you know about the Soulmonger?
Oh, I asked
You
that.
literally just established that you have all the answers.
Roll a persuasion check.
Yeah, I'll do persuasion.
Natural 20.
You are extremely charismatic in the way that you approach him and lean up to him and lightly place your hand on his chest. Well, the Soulmonger is someone who buys and sells souls in the Aldani Basin.
Insight check on that.
Roll an insight check.
Ah,
That's okay. He rolled a 4 on his deception.
Oh,
yay!
let's see. Why even get proficient in this if I'm just going to keep rolling? 8.
It's completely false. He just tried to pull whatever he could. What he said about him was not true.
I'm gonna.
Would you like to try? Has he got a beard? Has he got a beard?
He does have a bit. It's a nice.
Because I'm close. Can I just twiddle it? Because I'm that close, and then just
Back.
go. Would you like to try again then?
He looks a little bit sheepish, and just so people can see, that's who you're talking to.
Okay.
How does his temper? He looks down at his feet. There is one thing that the good Lord Stavros is not willing to share with me on this day, and that is anything about the Soulmonger. I'm sorry.
Insight check.
Roll an insight check. I do not know anything about this Soulmonger, and you believe him.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And may the good Lord watch your steps.
You too.
Grandfather.
Greco makes a point not to say anything to him as he says this.
As Averine steps up, it's quite clear that your holy symbol is visible, correct?
Aye, it's on my shield.
He takes one look at your holy symbol, and immediately his smile disappears.
Oh, what's wrong? You filthy merchant of knowledge. Are you ashamed? 'Cause you ought to be.
Aberrine. Why?
He knows what he's done.
You and your kind are not welcome here. How dare you make accusations about me and my state when you are the traitorous ones. You can leave. You get no answers.
Knowledge should be free. Your buying and selling is a mockery of what the gods teach us.
I do not have to listen to anything that a servant of Azuth has to say.
What is going on here?
Stay out of this, child.
Sorry.
The gods are a fickle sort, and their worshippers are even more fickle.
It seems to me that you are operating with a severe lack of knowledge when it comes to this town of Mesro, since no one has been back from there. We may be heading in that direction. What's it worth to you for me to bring back information about the town?
Well, for you to bring back information about Mesro, I highly doubt you would be capable of doing so. But if you can do such a thing, then I will pay you 50 gold for returning with any information or any secrets about Mesro.
Hey, I'll do you one better. I'll give my knowledge away for free to everyone except for you. And for you, I'll charge you 2,000 gold for the pleasure of hearing me tone.
See, everyone, this is what you get from a worshipper of Azuth. Charging people for knowledge. Yeah.
I don't know. I think neither one of you are taking the high road here.
No.
I'm a little disappointed.
Tara's
Especially in you, grandfather.
Use for the whole exchange.
Matthew, you're muted.
Grigori's loving this. He's just behind everybody going, yes, love it.
Cool.
Popcorn.
So, why is such a person as yourself here? What is these red wizards to you? Why are you hunting them?
How much is that information worth to you?
Well, it would seem that if these red wizards happen to come back, they might be interested in knowing who is asking about them. That information is quite valuable, if you would say so.
I'm going to pull Grigori aside.
Yes.
You didn't say your mate was a red wizard of Thay. If he was killed by undead, it was likely one of their own order who killed him.
Well, was he a red wizard? He wore red robes, but beyond that, I deal with many people from many different backgrounds. He never told me specifically he was a red wizard of Thay. Though, to be fair, in the search for knowledge, I don't see how that's too material.
Well, if we seek his murderer, we clearly seek the rest of his order. The murderer was a lich.
Well, that is particularly astute.
Tara will lean into the conversation. The one that killed him did wear red. He looked like those that this one described.
I wave Zola over. We just have a big group huddle. Do you know how far this Mesro is? And is it anywhere in the direction of your brother?
Do I have any idea where Mesro might be at all?
So your knowledge of Chult is mostly contained to merchant ship transport. So what I can say for you, and let me pop us all over to the player's map of Chult, which, if this is your first time seeing the map of Chult, you will notice that most of it is hidden from your view. As you explore the jungle, you will uncover more of it and more sites and discover that kind of thing. You guys are here at Port 90. Shago is up north at Fort Belawarian. Since Mesro is still well known and is one of the higher, it is a historical city that people avoid. It is known that it is right there.
It is.
It is known. Yes.
Yeah, I got a general idea about where it is about.
And at normal walking pace, you guys would know, or at least Zola would know, that traipsing through the jungle, you're limited to about 10 miles per day in travel. Okay.
We heard from Zanti that Sandir came from the Aldani Basin via the river Suonatore.
Mm-hmm. The river Suonatore flows from the top of the Aldani Basin down this side of Port 90. Sorry. It comes down the western side of Port 90. The Aldani Basin is just inside where you can't see.
So if we're having this conversation, figure we can all manage the logistics of this in our brains. Say, Grigori, it seems that your murderer might be in one direction, and the location that your murdered kin or friend was in another direction. Do you wish to seek out his murderer, or the place where he came from?
So that's either Mesro or the Basin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems to me, without a guide, I think it's immaterial which direction we go. Jungles are dense and dangerous and full of all sorts of things that go bump in the night and bump in the day. I suppose, is that I've not been to a jungle like Schult. Is that not right, Zola?
Sorry, what?
Jungles are dangerous.
Yes.
Perhaps we would do well to sail up to Fort Belawarian to pick up our guide, and then either sail up the river Suonatore or sail around the Shining Sea over to Mesro and avoid the particular nastiness of the jungle.
Well, the axolotl isn't going to be ready to set sail again for another couple days. It's a very large ship, and it takes preparation, even if it's a short trip. We can ask Xanthi if she has a ship to spare for this, but I doubt it.
Or we could, I'm sure there are chartered boats between here and Fort Belawarian we could charter passage on.
So just to be clear, we're after the fellow's murderer and not what he was investigating. Is that right?
Oh, well, we established earlier that we need to put an end to that evil lichdom in the world. It's just wouldn't be. Now, if paths cross later and there's an opportunity, of course, I still want that information. But as was brought up before, this is a terrible danger that we ought to try to extinguish.
Aye, those are my feelings. I am surprised to hear this from you, though.
Oh, is that how you feel? I wouldn't have known. How wonderful that our objectives align.
All right. Well, then, do we think we have enough information about Mesro and that the Thayans are there to communicate to Jago, or do we need to chat with this guy anymore?
I think it would behoove us to purchase a map. Surely there's some map here that they could provide us.
There are a couple things we might want to get before we head out. Question, though. Huh?
I wouldn't mind a bestiary.
I was going to walk over to the turtle. Hello, Turtle Man.
Sorry. Say it again. I was looking at my sheet.
Hello, Turtle Man. Forgive me, but I overheard your conversation.
It's fine. You are a very tall fellow. What do they call you?
They call me Tower.
Apt. Greco. He extends his turtly hand up for a shake.
He will punch this because he doesn't really know what he's doing.
You are a very curious man.
You too. I have never seen a walking turtle before.
I'd wager most turtles you've seen do walk, but the sentiment is understood. It sounds to me that you and yours are looking for the same kind of thing that I am.
This is what I overheard. We too have had issues with men in red robes. And we are here doing the same thing.
Well, if you would not mind the company of a humble doom guide, don't let the name bring any ill feelings, then I would be honored to join you. For I believe about 6 of us is stronger than the one of me, and we might have more success just as a whole.
Does Greco have any religious iconography? Like we have a holy symbol or something?
His shield has the icon for Kalimvor on it, and his shell is also painted with the image, and it's a skeletal hand holding a scale, like a weighing on either side kind of scale.
And what's the name of that god again?
Kalimvor.
I'm trying to Kalimvor. Would I know that? GM, would I know that being trained in religion?
You would know roughly, like you would recognize the name. Kalimvor? Sure. Yeah.
That's all I need. Just, oh gosh, another religious person. This is just, oh gosh.
Well, if he knows anything of Kalimvor, he would probably at least know. I mean, Kalimvor himself is probably wouldn't be too opposed. Like,
no, it's not the particular iconography. It's strong opinions and juggling things and keeping stuff straight. Okay. Just like
yeah, just another one of the faithful running around. Some other dogma to keep track of with all this going on.
Pretty much.
Yeah, understood.
So, would you like to accompany us and maybe impart information that you have?
I think that sounds like a wonderful idea, Tower.
I'm going to skip over. Even talking. Skip over.
Hello? We're kind of still inside the temple, if I've recognized it correctly.
We are.
My grandfather's Zatemba is stood right next to you.
And we're just ignoring him, having like a chat. Just like, whatever.
Well, he is the high priest of a knowledge god, and he lied to us, so I don't really care much at all about what he thinks at this point. So, Greco he's just whatever.
While they have this conversation, I'm going to see about buying a map from him.
I was going to continue. I do not know much about the religions in this land, but do I need to pay you as well?
Oh, no.
Like this fellow. He's going to give a bit of a scowl.
Kalimvor requires nothing in the sort of payment. As long as we live and we die and we return to the cycle, then life is able to go. And we're able to exist because we are able to exist. It's a nice circle. It works out pretty well for everyone. Or it has been, at least.
Circle of life. Yes, I understand.
He's gonna like kind of pat him on the back, or at least whatever is at level of 5'8", 5'6" on.
That's the church. That's the church.
This is gonna be he's what, like 7'6", something like that.
This is my friend Carmen.
Hello.
Hello, Carmen.
Hi. I see you're making more friends, Tower.
Tower has been very gracious to me.
Ah, good. I'm really pleased. You're going to be better at this than me soon.
I cannot imagine.
Did we hear your conversation? And are we aware that Greco's already agreed to come along? Okay. So, I'm Carmen. You're Greco. I'm Jake. I go to shake your hand or claw, whatever.
Little weird turtly things.
So just thought I'd come say hello, and nice to hear that you'll be, going on a little journey with us.
I look forward to all the great adventures we will have, and putting a stop to whatever abominations are existing in this great continent in which we live.
I like this one.
That will take a lot of work.
One step at a time, grandfather.
I don't like that one.
Neither do I.
No.
We must follow me. Come see the rest of our party, and he'll turn and walk back to Greg and hammering Zola.
They're a bit of a strange bunch, but coming from a turtle, a lot of people are strange. A tall blue fellow with red hands, a tall red fellow with horns, and 3 young ladies following them about. One, a blonde, a redhead, and a ginger. Is that right?
I'm brunette.
What's Aperine?
Redhead.
Redhead. Okay. Yeah. So I'm wrong on that. Yeah. So this nice little bunch with big, powerful bodyguard men.
Would Greco, in his kind of journeys, recognize? I mean, I'm assuming he would recognize the humans, and presumably, growing up in Schultz, would know a UNT. But that might not be true also. But the Furbolg or the Tiefling, would he?
Matthew.
So it's hard. Well, I say it's hard. Zola isn't obviously a UNT.
Right.
If I get this correctly, Zola, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the only things that are in any way UNT is your eyes, which are red, and some scales that are on her forearm, which are currently covered.
It's all hands and all the way down the arm, and they're not covered. They are loud and proud.
Oh, they're not covered? Okay,
Nope.
fair enough. Then you can see, I guess.
Okay.
There he is. I just saw
And
Yes,
her
you would
fingers
know
are
of
actually
UNT.
kind of talony.
I guess the more concern is, would Greco see the person who looks like a cartoon devil and think that this is some kind of like a devil, or would he recognize it as a tiefling?
There aren't many tieflings in Chult,
Right.
or at least not in the areas that you've come across. You're welcome to roll a history check to see if there's any chance that you have.
Yeah, sure.
Nope.
Nah, that's fine.
And you've certainly not come across any furbolgs before.
Yeah, that seemed pretty surefire. But okay, cool. I'm just getting what Greco's lay of the land might be. So.
Yep.
Cool.
This is Gregor, Aveline, and Zola.
Pleasure to make all of your acquaintances.
Hello.
I just spoke with Tower, a very kind, generous man he is. And it seems I will be joining you on our shared quest to handle these red wizards.
That's neat.
And I take it I didn't mean to offend by overhearing, but you're after the Red Wizards because of something with your village?
Indeed. we were attacked. A motive I'm not clear of, but the effects of the attack were enough to set me in motion in service of Kalimdor.
You're very brave.
Well, okay.
Thank you.
Well, there is. Wizards are powerful and not to be trifled with. We cannot just go in and knock on their door and hope that they'll surrender.
Indeed, and this is why I feel having a large group with me, although I may not bring as much to your plate, certainly you bring a lot to mine, and I appreciate the call to join, and will serve deftly and capably to aid you in your journeys, and so we may maybe all benefit each other on our own quests.
I'm sure you can contribute. What is it that you're particularly skilled in?
Well, I was once a medic, working for private soldiers, and so I have quite some skill with herbalism, crafting potions, crafting antitoxins in the jungles of Cholt, particularly near Hoi Hoi. I was able to find the right herbs and the right berries to create what was necessary and identify what was good and what was bad, navigate generally throughout the woods and the jungles there to survive. And I hope that these skills will be able to help your group as you travel.
Aye,
Probably.
very useful.
Also, as a servitor of Kalimdor, god of and overseer of death, I contain power to, or I can wield his power to ensure that death does not come to those for whom it is not the appropriate time. I can protect, I can sustain, I can keep all of us standing when we do come across something as dangerous as a red wizard, or hopefully nothing more severe, but I've heard things of the jungles in Deep Cholt.
Lucky us.
Aye.
Good to know.
Now, what is this you said? You were talking about something wrong with the nature of death at the moment?
Well, my mentor was murdered by a red wizard, and the gem at the hilt of my sword contains a fragment of what I believe to be his soul. This would not happen if the life cycle was maintained as it's supposed to be. This is not natural. This is not typical. This is a corruption of what should be and what had been for the eternity prior. And if the red wizards are at all responsible for this, or even connected to it, then it's my duty as a priest of Kalimdor's to make sure that this stops, so that life can continue into death as it's supposed to.
This is unnatural and most evil. I was told there was great evil in the south, in this land. At which you speak, this could be the problem I'm here to resolve.
Well, then it's good that I found you, Tower.
We have another person to collect, do we not?
Before we leave, Grigori, are you satisfied with the information we've received regarding this soulmonger? Or should I excuse myself while you talk more with this barterer of knowledge?
Oh, I think you've sussed out of him that there's nothing more to gain here at the moment. We'll have to gain the knowledge firsthand. Though I fault you not, grandfather, for not knowing everything. But we will be on our way. And when we return, perhaps we'll know more. Thank you for the map. Did I get a map?
You can buy a map from the Temple of Savras for 20 gold pieces.
So funny, we gave you 30 and you didn't really have any information to share. So really you're up 10 anyway.
True. Go ahead and spend 20 gold to buy a map. This map is just like the map that you have, except there's a big section that is unknown.
Sure. Well, this map has a huge part that's unknown in it. I'm going to have to fill it out for myself. You know, if you gave me the map, I could fill it out and return it with more knowledge on it, and that would be worth something. So you should give me this map for free, and then I'll return it to you for 5 gold with my notes on it.
Roll a persuasion check. If it will get you out of my temple, go. Sure. Take the map.
Thank you.
All right. The party leaves the Temple of Savras and goes and explores a little bit more of the city of Port Nyanzaro. So, there is plenty to do in the city, or you can just keep headed. What would you like to do?
I need to go pick up 3 or 4 things from the market real quick. If anyone wants to come along.
Zola, I'm interested in finding a few items myself, so I'll travel with you.
Okay. The market district, the market ward, is down pretty much right next to the Thundering Lizard and the Kaya's House of Repose. It is the market ward, and particularly you want to visit the Red Bazaar. You know that this is where most of the trade is done, and that a lot of various different casual items can be traded, but every now and then you might find a real gem in the Red Bazaar. What are you looking for?
Prices. I am personally looking for, well, first off, insect repellent.
Yeah.
What do I know about that? Or do I...
So there are some things that you can, like adventuring gear or expedition gear in the city includes some generic ointment that can be placed on the skin to ward against bugs. But you are encouraged to use it sparingly, because one vial is not going to last you too long, but also a contraption that is necessary for being able to collect the rainwater and clean it as you collect it. That will generate your actual drinking water for your expedition. Mm-hmm. Chult, as you know, it rains almost always. As a result, it's a good idea to collect the rainwater so that you've got that constant stream of fresh water.
Yep,
otherwise, that's about it for special adventuring gear for the jungles.
And 1 vial of insect.
So, yeah. 1 second real quick before Ty. Zola, you can buy a 1 adventuring pack that includes the water filter and 1 vial of repellent for 10 gold pieces, and 1 vial will give you about 2 weeks worth of application. So 14 days application. Okay.
Taro's going to wanting to accompany them because he wants to observe. But as instructed, he will wait for the transaction to finish before he mentions that he can create water. Zola, you realize I have the power to create food and water for us. Or
I didn't realize that. What can you not make?
Biscuits.
I'm surprised you know what that is.
Make biscuits. Make people have many.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get bug repellent for everybody, and I guess I don't care anymore about the rain catcher.
Okay, so a single vial of bug repellent is going to cost you 5 silver.
Great. So I'll get 6 of those.
Okay.
And
So that's, what, 3 gold.
yeah. And I actually will get 1 rain catcher because I just want to make sure nothing happens and we're, up the river without a paddle, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay. And then last but not least, I'm looking for a compass.
A compass. You can get a compass. They're fairly easy to come by. Actually, would they be? I'm going to actually say compasses are pretty hard to come by. The magnetic forces and all of that stuff, it's difficult with this kind of jungle. You won't be able to find a compass, unfortunately.
Okay, I could just do the stick in the bucket thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that is all that I needed to do then. And after this, well, is it? Averin, what did you want to check out?
Well, Zola, maybe you can help me find what it is that I'm looking for. There are 2 things that I'm looking for, as a matter of fact. I seek out perhaps like a bestiary that could help us, or help me identify different beasties in the jungle. I've never had a... I meant to pick one up last time I was here.
Can something like that be found in the Red Bazaar, or do we have to go to the Grand Souk?
Well, something like that, a bestiary, a guide to beasts of sorts, can be found and acquired from a particular fellow that happens to be in Port Nyanzara right now, a fairly famous fellow by the name of Volothamp Gadam. He is selling signed copies of his Guide to Monsters.
I know just the guy.
Okay.
So, all right, will you introduce me?
Yeah. Let's go find him.
Okay. Right. Now, I don't know what Volothamp sounds like. Anyone in chat, very quickly. What does Volothamp sound like while they're searching for him? All right, so you will find Volothamp Gadam. He doesn't stick to the Red Bazaar that much, though he is close to it. Typically stays in and around the entrance Malar's Throat is what it's called. Typically, he keeps an eye on the area where they're watching over the animals. He's interested in animals, interested in life in Port Nyanzara as a whole, and you can find his little shop where he's selling copies of his book.
Go stand in line.
Okay. So there's no one in line. There is no one in his shop.
That's terribly
He's
sad.
by himself with a stack right next to him.
Are you the Volo?
All right. Yes, of course. Greetings. Welcome to my home. I am Volothamp Gadam, and how may I be of service to you today?
I am inciting that.
He's Volothamp Gadam. I mean,
Cool. I don't know what that means, but great.
No.
Volo.
yeah, you believe that's his name, Volo.
I'm a big admirer of your works. I've read all your tomes. that have been available in Candlekeep. I was hoping to find something more local about the beasties in Chult. Do you have anything?
We're up to some dangerous stuff, and we are kind of limited on coin.
I have exactly what you need. You will find it in my special book that I've just finished and just published. And he starts showing off the cover. It's got a big picture of himself right on the front, arms out, with Volo's Guide to Monsters. This wonderful little beauty will set you back a measly, just a tiny, teeny little 50 gold pieces. And it'll give you all the information you need about the beasts within Chult.
We can give 40, and there does not appear to be anyone else in line. You take 40.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage because he is a little bit desperate to get his book out there. How about this? I can do you 45 if you promise to leave a good review in the city once you finished it.
Can I ask mechanically? He's going to be fairly interested in creatures he hasn't seen before. So if he's got a turtle and a furbolg in front of him, would he have any vast interest in these two people?
Or I guess maybe even further, if we're going deep into these dangerous jungles at some point, we could just make this a Pokedex quest, and we'll just tell them, like, we'll complete your Dino Dex. And
We're already
you will
filling out a
find
map for
sell it.
somebody. We could fill out a book too.
That since the Furbolg is in Volo's Guide to Monsters, he doesn't really care so much about Furbolg. However, Turtles are a recent addition, so he might be interested.
Well, I think that's a bargain at twice the price. You have a deal at 45 gold.
45 gold it is. So he will hand you over his book. He will sign it. Who is it going out to?
You can make it out to your number one fan, Averine Amblecrown, at your service.
Your number one fan. Averine, what? Sorry?
Amblecrown.
Amblecrown. Yes, Bolo and Bolo. He will hand you the book. Mechanically speaking, it is a hardback edition of his book. Very special. Very good. Anytime you want to know the lore about a particular monster described in the book, I can give you useful tidbits from Volo's Guide to Monsters, the actual DM
That's so cool.
Okay? I will not give you game statistics or information that would not be available in world. Okay?
So could we couldn't ask, like, on a scale of 1 to 20, how hard does it look to beat this monster specifically?
Nope.
Okay.
But it might be useful when tracking a creature. You can possibly learn the kinds of food that it likes, the kinds of tracks that it leaves behind, things like that. Could be useful.
Well, thank you so much, Volo. I really do appreciate this tome, and I'll cherish it always.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice
And
to meet you.
if you're ever back in the city, I'd love to hear of your exploits.
It's a date.
Date? Sorry, good day.
As we're walking away, I'll nudge Zola. He's a bit full of himself, and you can't take everything he writes as gospel, but some of the information might be interesting.
That's neat. You know him. His small world.
He seemed really flustered when you mentioned a date. Anything going on there?
We'll see. We'll have to see. Zola, I'm
Oh,
also
if we get some good entries in that manual, he might owe you a pretty nice dinner. Just saying.
I'm not one to turn down a meal, I'll tell you that. Zola, I'm also looking for perhaps some spectacles. Not perhaps spectacles enchanted that enhance my ability to make out fine details. Mechanically, I'm looking for eyes of minute seeing.
For magic stuff like that, rare like that, there you might have to go directly to the Merchant Prince.
I trust your guidance. If we can acquire this item, it might become a boon in our investigations.
We might want to. I don't know. I don't know if I can handle Congo on my own.
You obviously correctly, you know that if you want any sort of magical items within Port Nyanzaro, the person to go to is directly to the Merchant Prince, Wakanga Utamu.
He intimidates me.
Yeah. He's a big man.
Yeah, I can try. I can try to do something there. He might hold it against us that I work with Xanthi, but maybe not.
Oh, but then wouldn't it be all the sweeter if he gave us a deal, even if you worked for Xanthi?
Maybe.
Do we know where to find the fella?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know that you can either begin to ask for him in the markets area and potentially be led towards him, or you can go towards the Merchant Prince quarters and request an audience, which could be provided to you, might take a bit of time. All in all, roll an investigation check. We'll see how quickly you can arrange an audience with Wakanga Utamu. Yeah, pretty solidly. In fact, he's available and will visit you just outside of his home. Won't invite you in, but just outside of his home. What can I do for you? Hello.
Hello, sir.
You're Xanthi's little one, aren't you?
Yes, sir. And I'll walk up to him and offer my hand.
Good day to you. And to your friends. Wakanga Utamu. Greetings. What can I do for you?
We are in the market for some special eyewear. Specifically, we are seeking something, what'd you say, that makes out hidden details?
Spectacles enhanced with magic that can help me make out the finer details of things I'm looking at.
Well, I am afraid that sort of thing is not what I am able to sell you today.
It's the kind of thing that needs to be created?
I can create one, yes. That can be done. It will take you some time.
How much time?
Well, to craft an item such as that, or at least to requisition one from another land, maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe. I can have it for you.
Can I insight to see if he is overselling how long it's going to take in hopes of getting a bribe or something like that?
Can do.
16.
So 16. It probably shouldn't take 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks would mean he's ordering it from Baldur's Gate, like that far away. He could craft one. He could have one crafted or collected within 3 weeks at most. That is common. That could be understood. The price, if you would like it, he says he'll offer to create one for a measly 900 gold pieces.
Well, Zola, thank you for making the introduction, but the time for which it will take and the price which is asking is won't be of any use to me in our current expeditions.
Still, it's nice you two are meeting. Wakanga, she's actually from Candlekeep. Maybe you've heard of it. Zabari.
Interesting. Well, perhaps we can make a deal.
I look at Grigori, and then look back at Wakanga.
Are you the adventuring type?
What gave it away?
The adventurers packs. But anyways, perhaps you can collect something for me, and I could make this for you for free.
This is a very favorable price. What do you have in mind for us to collect?
Well, not too long ago, a group of people such as yourselves took something that belongs to me and left to explore the jungle. Unfortunately, none of them came back. My scouts managed to find part of something that a two-piece of things that they have of mine, and I would appreciate it if someone would be willing to collect the other piece. He rummages through a pack, pulls out an amulet with a huge V on the front of this amber-looking gem. This amulet is paired with a particular item that I am particularly fond of. If you can find the item that it connects to and bring it back, then you can have your eyes of minute seeing for free.
I mean, no disrespect, but we ought not to do that. I know you want these spectacles, but we are traveling to without the map, I can't remember. Baronstar? Are we going up north?
Fort Bellawarian.
Fort Bellawari. Between here and Fort Bellawari, I have contacts that have told me they already have it up there for a much more reasonable price. And further, taking a deal and going into the jungles where you could possibly die without anything on the front end. I mean, a traditional deal of this sort would be we get the spectacles as a lease, and then we purchase them later if we don't acquire the object. I mean, that's how these things usually go. No offense, sir. I'm sorry if you don't have the wares or aren't able to provide them. Perhaps you're just not that able to handle your stocks, but we can get these elsewhere. We ought to just leave.
So, you're familiar with Fort Bellawarian?
Oh, they're much smaller than here, I know, but I've had some contacts up there who have assured me a couple particular articles, including these spectacles, they have available for us up there for a very reasonable price.
How is Fort Bellawarian doing these days?
Oh, I don't know. I have my contacts up there who communicate with me. I've not been there personally, but they're highly reliable. They'd better be reliable. They know the penalty of failure. As I'm sure you're familiar. Those who work for you are familiar. So we ought to just leave. Unless, if you'd loan us the spectacles and we either return you the items or pay you 900 gold on return if we do not acquire them, that's one thing. But this, taking a job up front and not having the spectacles to begin with and maybe getting them later, we should walk.
Good day to you.
Very well.
Behind Grigori's back, if we come across this item? What would it look like? How would I identify it?
He starts twirling the amulet around the chain on his finger. Well, you see, the shield guardian that this is associated with will not activate without the amulet. So, it will be impossible for you to bring the guardian back without this deal.
Well, I advise you to walk away, but it's your decision. I will be stepping out, and I walk away.
So you're saying that I'll take this amulet to help me bring back your shield guardian? Is that right?
Aye. That'll be right.
And then when we bring it back, you'll give me the eyes of minute seeing.
Yep. That is right.
Very well. Where do you believe that these adventurers or these thieves were heading the last time you saw them?
Do you have a map?
I not on me, but we have one.
Grigori has it, and he just walked out.
The last safe communication I got from them was from Camp Vengeance along the River Soshinsta. And I will type that out, although Camp Vengeance is fairly...
It's a little on the nose, I think.
Wait till you see Camp Righteous right across the street. Completely different place. Yep. So, go from there. That was the last time I saw them. So, do we have a deal?
I
Okay.
grab it.
We'll give it to you. The Shield Guardian's name is Vaughn.
I like that you named him.
All Guardians should have a name. So, anything else for you?
I don't believe so. I will look around to see if anyone else was looking for anything.
Okay. Then, in which case, as the adventuring party wrap up the things that they need to do within Port Nyanzaro, and get ready to head out towards Fort Belawarian, we will head into a break. We're going to try something new here today, and I hope you all enjoy it. Those of you currently watching in chat, you will soon see on the screen a silhouette of who's that monster. Type in chat what you think the monster represents, which monster in the monster manual it is, and we'll see who's correct. At the end of the break, we'll reveal it, and maybe if you guys enjoy this kind of thing in the future, we might tie a couple of these to some giveaways. So, who's that monster? All right, see you back in 15 minutes. All right, welcome back everyone after the break. And so, for the Who's That Monster, the answer is... Is it up?
Yeah.
A Mero. Unfortunately, the closest was Super Mega Kameguru with Merfolk, but it is a Mero. It is the creature that the heroes fought against last week. So, pay attention to the creatures that the players encounter each session, because they might come up in the next couple Who's That Monsters in the future. So, we jump right back into the thick of things. Our heroes have collected everything that they need to buy and prepare. Now it is just the journey that they need to actually head out on. So, what are you guys going to do? You obviously you have the, there is the docks that you could go to try and arrange a boat. Unfortunately, as Zola said so, the ship that you came in on is not going to be available yet. Especially since it's still the same day. Like, it's late in the evening now at this point. You probably need to go to sleep and rest and then leave first thing in the morning. Or alternatively, you could go by land. So,
Are we not afraid of the pirates that are plaguing the coasts?
That is a valid concern.
Well, Zola, we don't have a guide yet, so until we get someone else, Zola, I think you are our default expert. Although
What?
I suppose, what was your name again? Good sir?
They call me Greco.
Greco. Oh,
Greco.
perhaps Greco. Are you familiar with the tides and inlets in this area? Are there pirates to be afeared?
I guess I'll roll because I'm not. I'll roll to see what you would know.
Roll about
Probably not.
pirates, but there is something that you do definitely know about the Bay of Chult. That is something you need to be aware of.
See what I roll. Would that be history for the pirates?
Yes, roll history. Okay, so you've not actually heard about the pirates other than knowing that the harbour master in town has mentioned something about pirates. However, you as a turtle happen to know through innate senses or you've heard it. Legend has it the Bay of Chult contains a dragon turtle that has a tendency to grab ships that don't offer it treasure on the way out. So as well as potential pirates, dragon turtle is a possibility.
Well, I do not know much of pirates outside of their mere existence, but legend has it that a dragon turtle lives in the water of the Bay of Chult and will grab ships out from the sea, destroying them, rending them into 2 pieces. It might not be a good idea. If we're attacked on land, we can flee. If our boat itself is attacked, there's nowhere to go from there.
Wise words.
So
Thank you.
I
what's
can
the
get us
plan?
to Fort Belowarian if we hoof it and stay along the coast.
That sounds like a very. That sounds like an excellent plan.
Well, then, should we blow off some steam at the Thundering Lizard?
How do you blow steam out of yourself?
And what was the Thundering Lizard? Was that something you did while you were at the zoo?
No, it's the tavern / inn, the best one.
'Twas recommended to us by Zanti.
Well, a recommendation from her would not be amiss. Shall we head out in the morning then, at first light?
Sounds smart to me.
Okay.
I'll meet you guys
Yeah.
there. I would like to go let Xanthi know about all the stuff that we got from Grandfather Zatembe. She should know these things.
Mm-hmm.
I will accompany you. We've made a deal. I have to keep you safe generally.
Oh, I'll be
September would
safe.
not be happy with me if something happened to you before then. Between
Are you
here
sure
and
you-
there.
Are you sure you don't want to stick around and kind of like make sure? that
No,
you
it would
guys
be
are
my
in trouble?
pleasure.
Because
It would be my pleasure.
I was born and raised here, and they might need some more looking after than I do.
Sure, but I have no contract to keep them alive.
I'll stay alive. Like I said, I was born and raised here.
That's quite true.
If you do come, you got to stay in the lobby.
Sure. No problem, my dear.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So rushing off to the home, you deliver all that information to Xanthi. All good. And then you, Zola, are welcome to stay in Xanthi's home. Gregory isn't. Sorry.
I'm going to stay with my friends. I'd like to get to know them better if they're to protect me. Also, do you want to give me a method of communication for scouting purposes to tell you what's going on? Or are you faithful? I will return.
To her understanding, your first port of call is to go and find Shargo in Fort Belowarian. He has ways of communicating with her.
Okay, great.
As such, as long as you stay with Shargo, you should be fine.
Okay, Mama. Well, I'm going to give you a big hug and a kiss, and I will see you when I see you.
She hug, kiss, wishes you good night. All right. Moving to the Thundering Lizard, Carmen, you feel right at home. It is a busy place. You can barely hear the communication with the landlord of the tavern and the inn because of how raucous not just the band, but also everyone in the tavern is. It's a more it's a more raucous place than most places you would have found in Baldur's Gate. The night is quite comfortable. Rooms have been arranged for you, I believe. You had said you were going to stay at the Thundering Lizard, so there will be rooms prepared for the 6 of you. No, 5 of you, because she doesn't know anything about the turtle. So, if you would like them. Otherwise, food and drink is 5 silver for the night. With a bed. All right? Then, during the night, the parties go on. The cheering continues. The music gets maybe a little bit too loud at one point. Greco struggles to fall asleep. But eventually everyone does sleep, rests well, gains the benefits of a full, long rest, and wakes up at dawn, ready for a new day. Carmen has a bit of a hangover. But other than that, everyone is doing well in the morning. A natural 1 and a 2 on the portent. Today's going to be a good day. Okay, so as you all gather up your belongings and begin to set out, the journey. Yeah.
I ask a question. Do we have food?
Ahead. Do we have what food?
Do we have food?
Yes, basic supplies. You've gathered basic supplies.
Okay. I just need to know because I need to know which spells I'm going to prepare.
Foraging in the jungle is one of those things that's actually quite easy.
Yeah.
So, moving over to the player's map of the jungle, you actually jump on a small riverboat, hop over the river, Tiriki, and then over onto the land beyond. The journey from Port Nine-Zaro to Fort Belawarian via the land will take you 7 days worth of travel. Are there any sort of activities that you guys would be engaging in whilst following this? The navigation isn't so difficult because you're not actually in the jungle proper. You can stay outside the forest, outside the trees, and stay to the open air, and you can head straight towards Fort Belawarian.
Could Greco, while they're traveling, also using his herbalism kit, create some potions of healing and antitoxins?
You can. A potion of healing is going to cost you 25 gold per day to create 1 per day. Mm-hmm. The antitoxin, I think, is the same, 25 gold.
Okay. So, and you said it's 7 days?
7 days.
Now, I know last time everybody had 150 as a starting point. Am I at that same starting point?
Yes, you were.
Minus the 5 I gave to...
Yep.
And, okay, so I'm going to create... just shy of making everybody one. I'm going to make 4 potions of healing.
Okay.
And and I'll just hold on to them. And when we get into situations where we might need them, I'll pass them out.
Okay, so that'll cost you 100 gold, and that'll be over the course of 4 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other sort of downtime activities during your jungle journey?
Tower's going to practice learning to be a dinosaur, and he will start that process off by trying to become one of those dimetrodons.
Dimetrodon?
Dimetrodons. The smaller ones. He's just going to try spending an hour a day trying to become one of those and just figure it out.
Okay. Because you use natural magic to be able to shift yourself into this form, I'd like you to roll either an Arcana check or a Nature check to see how well you're attuned to the magic and the nature that's necessary to be able to do this.
Roll first.
Yeah, the problem is that they're both. It's a bit weird thing. Like, mechanically, it's a bit of a weird thing because like druids are based on wisdom, and then all of those checks are based on intelligence. And so I always find that weird that nature's based on intelligence. I'll do the nature, and then it's going to be one either way.
Okay. All right. It takes you some practice, yeah?
Well, I was going to say, if I see that he's struggling with nature, Grigori this whole time is just going to be chatting to people, trying to get in people's confidences, trying to get people to trust him. So if I see that he's struggling with kind of the arcana or whatever else, maybe I give him some pointers or try to help him out during this trip to maybe give him an advantage on that.
It's difficult for you to do that because you're not a druid. You don't know the kinds of things that the druid needs to know in order to shift. If you had a druid to guide him, absolutely.
Okay.
You will begin to learn it. You'll pick up the shape. We'll double check everything and we'll set up one of the smaller dinosaurs for you for next week. One of the occasions where you are trying it out, you try to shift and you're struggling to shift. You think maybe doing the noise will help. You do a little bit of a roar. Give us a Dimetrodon roar. Okay. A moment after you do that, you hear from the bushes in response.
Probably. They kind of look at Carmen going, oops. the best way where a dinosaur would go, oops.
I assume we all hear this noise.
Yes, everyone hears the roar.
Okay.
Kind of freeze and just like I think does imagine everybody kind of does a and stops.
That was a very convincing roar, Tower.
Nodding as a dinosaur still.
Can we consult Volo's guide to see what kind of animal makes that kind of roar? Does it have like little audio buttons?
Through every pet audio? No, it doesn't have audio files.
Maybe you could tell us if it was big or small.
It was a large creature that you can tell. What do you guys do?
Can I gauge if that was close by or not?
It was just inside the tree line. You guys have been walking outside the tree line because of it's easier to navigate that way. It's just inside the tree line.
I'm going to roll a perception to look inside. To look from where I am, but to see if I can see anything.
Oh, that wasn't you. That was another dino. Okay, this is quite exciting.
What time of day is it?
This is about midday.
I'm a hide.
Okay. All right. Then as you guys, Greco, as you look, you hear the roar one more time. As a large creature steps into your view.
Oh, well, I can see it now, I bet.
As this huge Stegosaurus just lifts up its head to look at you all.
What would we roll to see if it's aggressive, like going to attack? Because it wouldn't be inside, I imagine, since it's not a sentient creature.
That would be an animal handling check.
All right, I'm going to do that then. I picked that skill, darn, and I want to use it.
Yes.
As of right now, Greco, you are absolutely certain that this Stegosaurus, this huge dinosaur, is just more curious than anything.
Can I still use that roll to approach? No. Okay. Then I will.
You can tell that it heard the sound of a dinosaur and wants to investigate.
Right.
Can Tower turn into his normal shape?
Yes.
Oh, good. Don't spook it.
He will back up. But he'll walk in behind Greco. Do not move too quickly.
I cast command.
Can you command a dinosaur?
Actually, let's double check what it is.
You said
No,
you
no,
cast it, not. I'm gonna check if I can. You said you cast it.
No, you're right. It has. It does have to understand my language. That's right. So, I cast it, and I point a finger at it, and in a deep tone, I say, "Disinterest."
This
Roll
interest?
a charisma-based skill check. Any of your charisma-based skill checks. 21. In that moment, as you shout your command, the confused, unsure dinosaur regards you, the horned one that just shouted at it, and it starts to look aggressive.
It thinks you're a triceratops.
Oh, fine. I cast Alter Self, and I turn into Greco.
So now there are two turtles.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to roll an intelligence roll for the dinosaur just to see if it knows anything about this, or what it would do in this situation. Okay. It's now extra confused. The dinosaur that it was looking for isn't here. The creature that shouted at it just turned into a turtle. The Stegosaurus is going to charge.
No, why?
I'm gonna say
He
something.
was friendly. He
What are you going to say?
I'm going to use
Tell
my thingy again so it can understand me. Be calm, big one. The noise you hear was me, but I am not one of you. Now go, eat, and bask in the sun.
Roll an animal handling check or persuasion.
Oh.
I'm gonna eat.
Okay. It looks past the two rather large and plump turtles, and
He's a skinny turtle.
is he skinny?
He's scrawny. He was a runt.
Fair enough. And then he calms down as a result of what Tower said. What else? Are you guys going to do anything else? It seems to have calmed down. It's relaxed around you now.
Blue Tower is just going to gesture everybody. He's going to stand there and sort of placate, stand up and placate and gesture for the others to continue on, and then he'll try and back off. If anybody wants. So,
Do you mean to befriend it and tame it and keep it for our own?
I do not wish to own this animal. It is its own being, and it needs to be free.
Very well. I will skitter away.
Yeah, in the background, you just see Zola leap out of the bushes and dart away in a blur.
Don't spook it.
So fast, the Stego shouldn't even be able to register it.
All right. Then a moment later, after you all kind of back up, having calmed it, after aggravating it, the Stegosaurus will disappear and step back. Its sounds echoing off in the distance as you continue your journey. You're now 3 days into your 7-day journey through the jungle. On the 4th, a cloud begins to stretch across the sky as the rain is about to start. Looking beyond towards the tree line and the horizon, you don't see an end to this cloud. You have a couple days worth of rain coming to you. Now, while you're trudging through the grass, through the ground, yes, you have the rain catcher, but are there any other things that you guys would be doing as a result of it raining?
Don't sleep in a valley.
Good advice.
I presume we got, as part of our gear, just like rain cloaks, right?
Mm-hmm. Because this is common.
Sure.
All of them, because Portlands are like their colors, bright, colorful. Each one got a different color. Ponchos, the kind of things you get from the theme parks. That's what they provided for you. Throwaway
cartoon
ponchos.
dinos.
Yep.
Tower's just going to bask in the rain.
Yeah,
It's outside.
Greco's used to this by now, I think.
Grigori's too cool for school, but his hood, like, he pulls it forward as far as he can, so his face is, like, super in shadow, but, like, just his eyes come through. Like, he's all about style. He just wants to look ominous, even if he's, like, miserable in the rain. He just wants to look scary.
He also has a lime green one. That just...
Yeah, right? Just ruins the image.
At some point, Tower is going to approach Zola.
Hey, big guy.
Hello, my friend. Do you miss your boat?
My boat?
You are more comfortable on the waves than on the land?
Oh, no, actually, I just started that part of the job only, like, less than a year ago.
I see.
This is very normal for me. I kind of like the feeling of warm rain. It's like a warm bath.
Oh, this is nice. Oh. He's going to look a little bit downtrodden that you didn't like your ship very much, because then he's going to pull out a little wooden model of the ship.
What a sweetheart.
I do not know if this is important or not.
This is amazing! When did you do this?
If you take a note, it's the same wood that was on the ship. So.
Wait a second. Is this the initial of a crew member?
But yeah, when he was downtiming and doing stuff, he was chipping away at it. And a conversation about gifts, he was like, "This is gift."
I love it. This is one of the best things that anyone's ever given me, and I appreciate it more than I can say. And I would like to give you a big hug.
She just grabs around the waist.
Now, Tower, not quite. You understand boats in general, but you've never been in a big boat like this. What part of the boat did you take to make the model boat?
I didn't go below deck very much, so I think I just maybe ripped off the side of one of the railings.
Okay. Right. So the next time someone inspects the wood, there'll be a chunk missing out of it. Okay.
That's why it's taking so long for the boat to get ready to go again. Like, what happened?
All right. Anything else you guys are doing? Moving through. Okay. 2 more days go by, so you're now...
Does Carmen play any songs at night? Like, when we sit around, like, at night, I'll cast Create Bonfire, so we have a campfire. Like, is she going to play anything? Because what Grigori's going to do is say, oh, do you know, like, a song from such and such place, or a song from such and such place? And he's trying to figure out where she's been by seeing if she knows songs from different places or not, to, like, piece together her past.
So yeah, so she would play, but very quietly, and only if we knew that there wasn't anything around us at the time. So it would just be very cautiously. But I wouldn't say yes to every request, because I would kind of know what he's doing to a point. But yeah, I like to entertain, so I would of course entertain where I can.
Same deal with the bonfire. If Zola says we shouldn't have one tonight, it might be dangerous. No fire. But if we think it's okay, just normal camping stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Then on the 6th day, so you should arrive at Fort Belawarian 1 day hence. Continuing on, at this point, you have to trudge through the tree line. Fort Belawarian is visible at this point at the top of a hill off in the distance. You have to go through the tree line to be able to get there. Otherwise, you're going to skirt around for a little while. So you begin making your way tentatively through the first part of the jungle.
Is it still
Trees
raining?
are thick. Yes, still raining.
Okay.
The trees are thick. The ground is muggy as a result of all of the rain that's been coming down. Not quite so bad as to be considered difficult terrain, but still, your shoes are quite dirty.
Shoes. Ha!
Yeah, if you have shoes. Fair enough. As you guys are moving through, though, I need to get perception checks from everyone, and I'll take your passives as minimum.
Well, my passive is not a 3, so
Yeah.
My pass is an 11.
my passive is 12.
Passive is 11.
Passive's 15.
Okay. So, Tower, Carmen, and Zola hear sounds from the tree lines around you. You are being followed by something. You can guess something small. The sound isn't common, but you can tell that it's probably communication of sorts, so at least more than one thing.
The fort's right ahead. We should just keep on marching along. The sooner we get there, the better.
Tower's gonna just lean on her and go, slow. We are being quietly.
If you guys stay here, I can go check it out. See what's following us.
I will come with you.
So are you going to try and stealth to spot the things? Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll a stealth check. Anyone that is going with Zola.
That was.
Sorry, that was me.
Okay.
And then that's now me.
So the three of you.
So what? I don't hear anything. What's going on out here in these woods?
So Zola heads out, Tower closely behind, and then following up, shouting, "Hey, wait for me," is Carmen, as the rest of the group are back a little ways. As you make your way through some of the trees, you spot the creatures that are following you, but unfortunately, they also spot Carmen. And Carmen's presence just ruins any additional attempts. The creatures that you see, small plant-like creatures with mounts. They're all mounted on another little plant monster with spears and helmets. These are Vegapygmies.
Oh, those are fun.
Oh.
They're huddled in a small little camp, 4 of them, each sat on top of their mount as they talk to one another, and then they stop.
What language are they speaking in?
I highly doubt you know it, but let me double check.
Yeah.
They're speaking, get it? Vegapygmy.
Ah, darn it. Not on my list.
No. What languages do you speak, by the way?
Aquan, Sylvan, and Common.
Yeah.
I was hoping for Sylvan since they're woodlandy.
Yeah.
What?
As you approach, yeah, go ahead.
What do I know about these guys?
Yeah, same for me, actually.
So, natives of Chult, these little Vegapygmies, they're mostly harmless in large groups. They can be a problem. Very territorial. They don't care. They're very neutral. They don't care who you are. You're in the jungle, and the jungle is theirs. That's what you know about Vegapygmies. As they're communicating and they stop, they turn, look at Carmen. I would like everyone to roll initiative as these 4 mounted Vegapygmies begin to charge.
So since you said we would know that they're only really a threat when they're in numbers, do we know that 4 of them is enough numbers to be a concern from what we've heard of?
It's possible. 4 mounted is
mounted
possibly
is a problem.
a concern.
Oh, good, a 5. I love going last.
If they're running at me, can I cast a spell? Or
You're not considered surprised, so you can use a reaction if you have a spell that you can cast as a reaction.
do I not?
I don't think you do.
Okay, all right. No worries.
So these Vegapygmies on the back of Thornies, as they're called. Love these things. Right, let me roll initiative for them.
Ooh, is one of them wearing a crown?
Yes, one of them is.
Oh,
Not actually wearing a crown, but his plant hair looks like a crown.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Then, is anyone missing from the turn order? Nope. Okay, I got Zola, Grigori, Carmen, Averine, Greco, and Blue. Okay. Do you want Alawando?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Then in which case, at the top of the round, Averine, you are watching the party as they head into the trees. You don't quite see the Vegapygmies, but you see Carmen, Zola, and Tower get a little agitated as something is going to attack them.
Well, I will move 30 feet up. Can I see the Vegapygmies now?
Yes.
How big are they? I mean, they sound small.
They are small, maybe 2 foot tall, but riding on top of the Thornies makes them 3.
Ooh, a threat.
Their spears, though, are about 3.5 foot long.
All right. After I move, I will cast Bless on Carmen, Tower, and Zola.
Okay. So the 3 of you are now blessed.
And be careful! Their spears look pointy and sharp. And that's it.
Okay. Then one of the Vegapygmies will command its mount to dash forward towards Carmen. So it'll actually skirt around a little bit before reaching there to attack Carmen. Hoisting its well, actually no, the Vegapygmy chief is the only one carrying a spear. The rest are just using claws. It will rake, or attempt to rake, at Carmen. So I have a 6 to hit. I think that's going to miss you. Yeah. Okay. And then that will be it for that. Carmen, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna just look down, brush off my shoulder, and stab him with my rapier.
Okay. As you miss with a natural 1, it giggles at you. Anything else from you, Carmen?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give some inspiration to Tower.
Okay. How do you give him inspiration?
I am going to say, Tower. You are so big anyway. You're even bigger against these guys. You don't. Piece of cake. Go on. You can do it. Go for it.
Okay. Tower, you feel energized and inspired. Zola, what are you going to do?
I recognize these guys have spears, but I'm curious to see how this goes anyways. So I will close in across
Okay.
and unleash the fury of my blades.
These tiny little creatures are quite nimble, but you anticipate it and manage to cut quite deeply into the Vegapygmy's hide,
Great. And then...
killing it,
Oh, okay. Never mind.
leaving just an untamed Thorny behind.
Okay,
Would
well,
you
can I...
attack the Thorny? Because it looks aggressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. Well, a 25, that's a crit, so that's definitely going to hit for 6 points of piercing damage. All right. Anything else from you?
Yep. We'll back away. Let's go here.
Okay.
That should also have sneak attack damage.
Thank you.
Yes. Would you like to apply the sneak attack to the first attack or the second?
Actually, to be honest, I would have applied it to the first, not knowing that I was about to die, so never mind.
Okay. Sounds good. So you killed the first one. Fair enough. Then, as you move away, did you choose to use the bonus action to disengage?
I have fancy footwork, sir.
Okay, so you can do it without, because you attacked the Thorny. Fair enough.
Yep.
All right. Then we have another Vegapygmy, also commanding his creature to move around and focus in on Carmen, since she was the loud one. He's going to attack her with his claws. That is a 15 to hit.
So it would hit.
Okay. You take 4 points of slashing damage as his tiny little pygmy hands claw at you. And that is it for him. Tower, what would you like to do?
Tower is little plant things and charge into the middle of these two. And then I am going to Thunderwave.
Okay. All right. So charging forward. What's the radius on Thunderwave? You'd hit both of them, right?
15 foot.
So let's do the chief first with his con save. He succeeds. He takes half damage at 2, but is not pushed. The other Vegapygmy also saves with an 18. All right. So half damage is 2. Okay.
And then for my bonus action, I will turn into the bear.
Okay.
And roar viciously to intimidate.
Can we hear that roar?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Shifting into your brown bear form, let me pull up your brown bear. There you go. Right. Anything else from your tower? That's it for you?
Yeah.
Okay, we move to Grigori.
So many things. I'm just gonna. How far am I apart? I'm gonna on the one by Carmen that still has Rider on it.
Yep.
I am just going to drop a Sacred Flame.
Okay, so it needs to roll a dexterity saving throw. What is the save DC?
15. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have it set up yet to auto roll damage.
All right.
So,
It failed, so it takes the full 7 points of radiant damage, you say?
that's right.
Okay. It looks quite charred, but still alive.
And then I'll step up there and then be done.
Okay. Then next up is the Vegapygmy Chief. In his current position, he's quite happy where he is, but he is going to shift around a little bit. And he's going to make 2 attacks against the bear. The first attack will be a spear attack, 2-handed. That's a 20 to hit the bear. All right, you take 9 points of piercing damage as this old-looking spear sticks into you. And second attack will be with his claws. 15 to hit. It hits. Okay, 3 points of slashing damage from that. Then the Veggie Pygmy that's on your right is going to use his claws against you. That's a 10 to hit, so that's going to miss, right? Yep. Okay. Greco.
I have a quick question first. When you said the Veggie Pygmy on top that was mounted, that was felled, is it actually dead, or is it unconscious?
You would have to get closer to it to be able to ascertain that information.
Okay. Well, then what Greco will do, he will... Where's my arrow? He's going to move, to that spot. I'm going to cast Toll the Dead, which is a cantrip, on the mount on the other side. So the one that is being ridden, other side of Carmen.
Okay. That mount is not wounded, just so you know.
That's fine.
Okay.
And I'm casting it at... Oh, I can. I'm just gonna... So if it's asking what level I'm casting it at, since it's a cantrip, but I just put 0? Because I guess I can...
If
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then that is set up incorrectly.
Yeah, I'll fix it after. But I'll just. It's a wisdom save, I think. A wisdom save against the DC 12.
Which it failed.
Okay, so I'll just roll that dice. It's 1d8.
Mm-hmm.
And after we're done today, I'll look at my stuff to see what went wrong.
Okay. So it takes 7 points of damage.
All right, and then with a bonus action.
What kind of damage is that, by the way?
Oh, I think it's necrotic.
Okay.
Yeah, necrotic damage. And with a bonus action, not knowing if it's going to work or not, but having seen someone fall just for defending their territory, which doesn't necessarily seem like their time to die, he's going to cast Spare the Dying on the Veggie Pygmy that was riding the mount, the one that was felled, and that will stabilize it. If it's not dead, if it's just unconscious, and if it's dead, then it's it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's able to stop the death, then he will.
You cast it, and it appears to be stabilized.
Great.
Okay.
And that's all.
All right. Then Averine, what would you like to do?
I will cast Comprehend Languages to see if I can understand what these Veggie Pygmies are saying. And I don't know if I will be able to recall what I heard them say and now be able to process that through my now magically enhanced... No? Okay.
No, it wouldn't work that way. You'd have to listen to them talking now. And you will begin listening to them, and strangely enough, these little creatures are talking about battle strategy and coordinating attacks. However, you do hear and understand one thing. The Veggie Pygmy that is still alive next to Carmen complains. That spell that was cast on it by Greco, by the turtle, has stopped my mount's regeneration.
Ooh, that worked out well.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so having cast that, I will get into a position to make it easier for Carmen to attack this other mount in case she wishes to do so. And I have no idea whether or not they'll understand me, but I will cry out to the Veggie Pygmies, say, "Peace, we're just travelers! We're just trying to get to the fort up ahead. We mean you no harm." And that's it.
Okay. Unfortunately, Knowing the spell, they can't quite... You know the spell won't do it, so you're hoping that maybe they understand common anyway. The Thorny is its turn. On the Thorny's turn, the Vegapygmy that's next to it, that had fallen, regenerates. Gains 5 hit points, wakes up, stands up, uses half its movement. The other half it uses to step up onto its mount. Give it its initiative. And then it will use an action to attack Carmen.
Rude. No gratitude. Goodness.
So, claw attack against Carmen is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, you take 4 points of slashing damage. Okay. And then the Thorny itself, now that it is being mounted, isn't going to do anything. It's going to wait on the command of its master. Okay, Carmen, what would you like to do?
Oh, I'm going to look at Greco and say, okay, can we all be on the same side now, please? Let's not bring any of these little guys back to life, shall we?
They don't need to be killed.
Okay, fine. I will therefore cast sleep.
Okay.
I think I can cast sleep.
Yes, you can.
To anything else? Well, those ones that are around me, so the riders and the fawnies.
Okay. The problem with sleep is it's a radius.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have it hit both the Vegapygmies around you,
Yeah.
you're going to be included in the radius.
Okay. Can I get out the way first?
You can certainly move.
Okay. So if I move over next to my new buddy.
Okay. Both Vegapygmies will take attacks of opportunity against you. The
Yeah.
first will be a 17 to hit.
Can I duck those? No?
No,
Oh.
fortunately not. So
Okay,
you
that will
take
hit.
6 points of slashing damage from that, and then the other one rolls an 11 to hit.
That will miss.
So that misses. Okay. So you move back. What are you going to do?
Hold on a minute, I'm having trouble. Why can't I?
What was
Was
the
it take
damage?
7? Was it 7?
It was 6 slashing.
Okay. Right, now I'm going to cast sleep.
Okay. You create a creatures in 20 feet of the point you choose. What is the point that you choose?
Are each of these, how big is the square?
So it's 20. You just pick a square, and then anywhere within 20 feet of that square would be affected.
No, that's going to be. You probably want something down.
Um,
Or if you did.
Oh no,
you might
I'll
be able
go,
to pick
yeah,
him.
alright, okay. Yeah, I
So
think that'll do it.
where are you going? Do you want to ping it?
Yeah, I'm going here.
Okay. How many hit points does the bear have?
Currently, 22.
22. Okay, so the bear's going to be fine. All right, the Vegapygmy next to Averine falls asleep on top of his mount. Then does the other one, 7. And that is it. Just the 2 Vegapygmies. The mounts do not fall asleep.
What about the leader?
Nope.
No?
Seemingly unaffected.
Okay.
Okay, anything else from you, Carmen?
I'm going to give inspiration to Zola.
Okay. Falls unconscious until the spell ends. Sleeper takes damage, or someone uses an action to shake or sleep. Okay, cool. So you give inspiration to Zola.
Yes.
Zola, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I am going to run Yeah. I'm gonna run here and then use a cunning action to hide.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check. Okay, you feel fairly certain that you are hidden. Anything else from you?
I think that's all of my action economy.
Okay. The Vegapygmy that is here is going to sleep soundly. Tower, what are you going to do?
He currently doesn't know what the plan is. So he's going to back up on his hind legs, having been attacked by these two, and go into a rage.
Okay.
And come down on the leader with the multi attack.
Okay.
So what am I doing? That's not a roll. So I'll do the bite attack first. I'll use my
Your bless.
the bless first.
Okay.
1.
Oh, I didn't use my bless.
4. All right, I'll use my inspiration as well.
So 1d6.
There we go.
Okay, that will hit.
Okay, go for.
So, how much damage does that deal? If you click on, yeah, there we go. So 12 points of piercing damage. You cut against the Vegapygmy's flesh, takes 12 points. All right. Anything else?
And then he'll do his second attack with the claw. The wrong one.
Unfortunately, that's going to miss.
Oh, I've still got bless. I don't know what the level is on this one.
You can certainly try.
I'll do 4.
You can certainly try.
Certainly try. It's 11. My God,
Unfortunately, that is going to miss.
Okay.
Okay, then we move to Grigori.
I extend my hand, and next to the leader, a skeletal, spectral figure appears that attempts to grab him with a chill touch.
Okay. Make a ranged spell attack against the creature. So you need to roll a d20 and add your spell.
I got this one programmed in. I got this one. There it is. Aha.
Okay. 17 is going to hit for 1 point of necrotic damage.
Oh gosh! What
As
a
he
roll!
takes the
What a roll.
necrotic, as he takes the necrotic damage, he screams out loud. Now my regeneration is ruined.
I'm going to use a sorcery point to do my twinning. I'm going to use my meta magic empowering spell. I get to spend 1 sorcery point to re-roll a number on a damage dice. So I'm going to re-roll that.
4.
And you know what? I'm going to use my. No, I'm done. That's all.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So it is the chief's turn. He is angry. What he's going to do, though, since the bear annoyed him the most, is he is going to puff out a big cloud of spores directly over the bear. I need Tower Bear to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Wait. That is plus 2 more, so 16. Sorry, I rolled the wrong thing, but it's.
Why is it?
My saving throw for this is plus 5, but I rolled the con, which is only plus 3. So
yeah. So okay, saving throws plus 5. Fair enough. Then you are fine and don't take any additional effects. Okay. Never mind then. Veggie Pygmy on the other side will shout in Veggie Pygmy, which only Averine understands to be, I've got this. I'll do it. As he tries to rake and claw at the bear as well. With a 19 to hit the bear.
Yeah, that is fair.
For 6 points of slashing damage.
Halved because I'm raging.
Halved because you're raging down to 3. Okay. Greco.
All right. Well, first thing Greco's doing is approaching Carmen. And
Can I ask a quick question based upon what we've observed? So if you attack one of these guys, does it hit them and the mount, or do you attack them separately? Because they're affecting each other, and I'm wondering if we are understanding how that works based on watching it.
Mounted combat, you can choose who you are targeting. Certain classes have the ability to either impose disadvantage or just tell you no, you attack me instead. But judging by these little limited creatures, you could attack the mounts instead.
Okay.
A question on that. Follow-up question is: when I did that thunder wave earlier, you only seem to roll for the people on top, not for the mounts themselves.
True. Correct. My mistake. I will remember that for next time.
Okay. Cool.
Even if they had been pushed back, they would have regenerated and then come back in.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just.
Okay. So you're healing Carmen for 5.
yeah, and I'm you're welcome. And I will yeah, I don't have a bonus to you, so I'm just gonna stay put and kind of take a defensive stance next to her. I'm gonna like actively get my shield and sword up so I can protect her if any attacks come our way. Although it looks like that might not be happening anytime soon. But
Okay. Averine.
Do I get the impression that they can understand my words?
No. They have no way to understand you.
Okay. I will take a step back. I'm not sure if I'm provoking an attack from the mount.
No. In this case, the mounts seem to have just gone docile while their commanders aren't giving them commands. So it seems like the mounts are perfectly obedient to the point that they won't do anything without instruction.
Very well. Well, in that case, I will fire a firebolt at the chief's mount.
Okay. As the firebolt hits the chief's mount takes 10 points of fire damage. Its skin burning a little bit as the blast connects with it. Anything else from you?
And I will just try somehow to communicate. I could have killed you, but I shot your mount on purpose. We mean you no harm. And that's it.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check at disadvantage.
So I haven't rolled portent for today. So can I do portent real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so. Oh, that's whatever. Okay, so I will roll persuasion. I'll take the 13 for my disadvantaged persuasion roll.
Okay. And what is the your bonus on persuasion?
Oh, it is 0.
0. Okay, so it is a 13. All right. Let's see how this does. Okay. Aggressive. You hear muttering, "This crazy person attacked my mount. Let's get him."
So I'll shout out to everyone else because they probably hear me talking in common. Say, "There's no reasoning with them. Death to them all."
Okay.
that sounds a little extreme.
Anything else from you, Averine?
That's it.
Okay. Veg Pygmy still asleep on the mount. The mount at this point, having not received any sort of instruction, will drop down a little bit and just start biting at the ground. Which, thinking about now, eating plants, I'm not sure about that. All right.
Well, animals eat animals.
True,
Yeah.
true. Okay, Carmen. What are you going to do?
I'm going to. Can I try and cast sleep again on the ones at the top?
You can do. Is sleep concentration?
It's concentration, baby. You can't make two concentration.
Huh?
It's concentration.
What, sleep?
Oh, no, it's not. No.
Sleep isn't.
No.
So trying to just think where I can pop it so I don't put Zola to sleep. Although that would be funny.
You don't know where Zola is, Toby.
I saw her run over towards that way. If I go there, I'll go there. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put sleep there, please.
Okay. So go ahead and roll the sleep.
Yeah. Yup, yup, yup.
Oh, Jesus.
Sing a little lullaby.
Wow.
That was a good roll.
Sorry, 1 second. Just answering the question in chat. All right, so 31. All right, immediately the Vegapygmy to the right of tower falls asleep. The Vegapygmy chief falls asleep. That is so far 22, which leaves 9 left. So everyone else is fine in that regard. Okay, so now all of the Vegapygmies have fallen asleep. You guys are effectively out of combat as long as no one touches any of the Vegapygmies for a minute. What would you like to do?
Oh, the tower's raging. He's gonna
I will go reel him in.
Okay. Roll an
ship in front
animal
of him.
handling check on him.
At the same time, Grigori's actually going to walk up in between these two, and he's going to start reaching out to touch the mounts. Unless somebody stops him.
What would you like to contest my rage against?
I'm trying to think, what would your rage be? I would say roll an insight check. If you roll higher than the 11, you understand the meaning of this, but roll it at disadvantage because you are raging. Okay. You just about, before you slash down, you recognize that's a friendly voice. You should calm down. You like Zola. You relax.
As soon as he calms down, I'm gonna tentatively walk up to him and grab his head and pet him. Yes, just
You guys have less than a minute before the first pygmies wake up.
Okay, I'm going to call over to Grigori and say, don't touch them. Let's just get out of here.
But they're asleep. We can end this now. They'll follow us. We can't get far enough away in a minute that they won't follow us. I'm going to touch the mounts, and I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds. And I'm going to use a twinning, one of my sorcerer points to hit both of them.
To hit the 2 mounts?
The mounts.
Okay.
Mounts aren't asleep anyway, right?
No, the mounts aren't asleep, but they're also not aggressive while their masters are asleep.
So let's see. I had that programmed in.
Okay. 21. That's for 1. Go ahead and make a second attack against the other, because that will hit.
Well, I guess that's the question. If I use the meta magic feat to twin it,
You
let's
create 2 spells. You cast it twice. You
All
make
right.
2 separate attack rolls. Okay, so 22 and 21. As you reach out, I'm imagining you do this 2 hands at the same time.
That's
You
right,
reach-
just right there, and you know, when I do command, I speak and there's like this like loud, deep rumble. This is quiet, but it's equally deep and penetrating. And I just say die, and they necrotic energy just hits them.
As the necrotic energy envelops these mounts, their whole flesh just turns to ash and muck in your hands. Unfortunately, that knocks the veggie pygmies that are on top of them onto the floor. They get shaken up. They stand up, ready with the weapons to go, as you've just killed their mounts.
Well, they would have been prone, right? They're prone if they fall down.
They are
right?
prone. They are prone. So, are we going to get back into combat, or are you going to kill them off quickly?
I mean, that was my turn.
Yeah, where are we in initiative? Because I know it was up here, but it's gone now.
Everyone calm down for a second. Then Grigori stepped forward and exploded. So if you wish to attack, we can... Well, in fact, they're going to attack. So now it's an initiative order with just those veggie pygmies.
All right.
And anyone that wishes to get involved in the fight against the devil.
That 23 initiative is pretty appropriate, I would say, based on what just happened.
Yeah.
Is anyone else getting involved?
Another 5. It's the same roll. Oh my gosh.
We could just keep going. They know better to attack us. We could kill them at our with ease. They'll be fools to attack us again.
Aaron, can I just say that I'm going to hold an action? I'm not going to roll into initiative. I'm going to hold an action. If the other ones wake up, I'm going to attack them. So I'm basically standing guard over those.
Okay, fair enough. So, and you'll just always do this?
Yep.
Yep. All right, sounds good. Grigori. Top of the round.
Inflict wounds again on only one of them, though, on the one below me.
Okay. How many inflict wounds do you have?
I believe it's a first level spell, and at third level I have 4 spell slots.
Okay. All right.
Now,
Go ahead.
other question. If I do the twinning strike, that doesn't expend 2 spell slots, right? That just expends 1.
It expends just
that
1.
Right.
Correct.
So far I've only done cantrips, so I still have 3 first level spell slots remaining.
All right.
So I'm going to hit him with inflict wounds again.
This time, as you reach out to grab him, he's onto you. He rolls out of the way, and you miss.
Then I am going to... crap, I put myself in a situation where I'll take an opportunity attack no matter where I go. In that case, I'm just going to run back here behind Greco, and they can both attack me. That's fine.
They will take reactions. They have disadvantage on the attacks because they are prone. So, first attack is going to be a 19 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, that'll be 8 points of slashing damage. And then the other one will roll a 9 to hit, so that's going to miss.
That's...
All right. Anything else?
As Grigori is going past, Greco's going to kind of gesture that maybe he should stand closer to him for protection's sake. Just
Sure.
in case they pursue.
He's hiding behind you anyway. That was the plan.
Yeah.
So, that's all for Grigori.
Well, that veggie pygmy is going to stand up, look at you very angrily, or at least what you can assume to be angry as the plant form shifts a little bit. And then, looking around, its mount is dead. It's going to come charging straight towards you, Grigori. Blaming you, naturally. So, a 19 to hit again.
I will use my reaction with my protection fighting style to put disadvantage on that attack. Yeah.
Okay. Then that makes it a 15. Does that still hit you?
Still hits. My AC is junk.
You take 8 points of slashing damage as this angry and regenerating veggie pygmy is attacking you. Averine, what would you like to do?
I'll cry out to Grigori. "You're that fool! We could have been on our way, but no, you had to set up a hornet's nest."
Well, there are 2 hornets, so let's smush them and get going.
So I will firebolt the one attacking Grigori.
Okay. with an explosion of fire, you will kill the veggie pygmy. And its flesh turns to ash and dissolves, as it is also no longer able to regenerate. Okay. Anything else from you, Averine?
I will look despondently at the ashen corpse. And that's it.
Okay. Carmen.
I am going to walk up to this one here, and I'm just had enough now, so just gonna roll badly.
No.
No?
A 15 is going to hit.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna hit. I'm also blessed. Does that help?
It increases your attack roll if you wish.
Okay.
But you already know that it's going to hit, so you can't really roll. So
Okay, fine.
go ahead and roll the damage.
Yeah.
And you take.
And you're going to add your bardic inspiration.
I wasn't going to inspire him.
No, you can add to. You can do your slashing flourishes
My slashing flourish.
or your defensive flourish. One.
What do I add for one of those?
So you roll an extra 1d6.
1d6. Roll 1d6. 1d6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You stab the veggie pygmy. Go ahead and roll the slash R 1d6.
Yeah.
Okay. Extra 2. Okay. As you stab it first, it falls instantly, and then you continue with a little bit of a flourish. It's already dead, but it's at least you look good with the flourish.
Is it like a Zorro where she etches a C in his chest?
All right. Anything else from you, Carmen?
That's it.
Okay. Greco.
All right. So Greco, seeing this thing fall, he's going to point his longsword at the felled veggie-pygmy and cast Toll the Dead at it, saying that you've been given opportunities to live by an agent of Kalimdor, and yet you still stand and attack us. The mercy we've shown you has been without cause. It is your time to die. And he's going to cast the Toll the Dead at the thing just to make sure that it stays dead.
Nice. All right. So
I think the level was because at level 5, Toll the Dead does more damage. And it's still
that's player level.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. I'll take a look at it and I'll fix Toll the Dead next time. Don't worry about it.
So it's a DC 12. I don't know if since he's
go ahead and just roll the damage.
Yeah. 7s.
As you focus in, you feel that you must set an example to this creature, at least. Its flesh will curl up underneath the necrotic effect, and the veggie pygmy is now dead.
Wonderful.
You guys still have 2 more veggie pygmies asleep.
And after that, he's going to, well, I guess, say, we don't have long. We either have to stay and fight or run, but we have to make the choice now. And he's going to move up just a little closer to where they are, so that if anything happens, he's in a position to do something about it. And that's all.
Okay. All right. So, again, we're out of initiative order until you guys decide to attack, or you guys stay stood over them when the minute finishes.
Let's go. I'm gonna kind of tug on Tower's fur. Let's go. We're like 3 steps away from the fort.
Tower's not the problem.
Gregory follow Zola.
Okay. All right. Then as you all hurry off away from the fight site, you will find yourselves rushing towards Fort Belawarian. You won't be able to get to Fort Belawarian tonight. You will have to reach it first thing in the morning. You will have to rest, but at least you get far enough away from the site that you've actually broken out of the tree line. The territory that the creatures were protecting, you feel fairly solid that you are now out of it. So, as you, on the next day, begin to prepare to head towards Fort Belluarian, everyone has gained the benefits of a long rest, so go ahead and put your hit points back up to maximum, spell slots refreshed, skills also back up to where they should be, etc. As the fort comes into view, it is a huge walled palisade, about 20-foot tall wooden structure. You can see one big gate with the doors wide open, with sentries placed on top of the doors at the gates. Beyond it, a towering, huge building, the roof of which is kind of a straw wicker-like building that is the main hub of Fort Belluarian. We will move you over to the main map. Feel free to zoom out to get an overview look of Fort Belluarian. The fort itself is fairly small, but its position on top of the hill really helps it out in the case of all of the rainfall that is currently happening just washes right away from the fort, which is neat. It also makes the hill and the slope difficult for you to approach. Like, this actually becomes difficult terrain as you make your way up the slope, giving you the idea that should this place come under attack during a rainstorm, it's going to be a bad idea. As you step through the main gates into Fort Belluarian, you are greeted by the guards, who have a smile on their face, but all of these guards are wearing a very particular kind of garb. The clothing is still very light, thin clothing like you have seen in Port Nine-Zaro, but the color is all one color. You see it is a fairly dark red, almost a maroon kind of color, every single one of them in here. Now, Zola, you know that Shargo is somewhere inside Fort Belluarian, but do you know why? Would Xanthi have told you why Shargo is there?
I don't know. Is that something that I could know and not threaten to reveal because I'm not so deceptive?
That depends mostly on your connection and your relationship with Xanthi. Now, I feel like Xanthi likes you enough to trust you with this sort of information, but let's leave it up to the dice. Okay? So, would you like to roll any of your charisma skills to control whether or not your charismatic ways, your relationship, and see how well attuned it is for this roll? 16. All right. She did tell you why Shargo is there. Fort Belluarian is the most wealthy and the richest location in Chult. Those that work in Fort Belluarian are just covered in treasure. It seems like a little bit, seems like a bit too much. The reason why they're covered in all of this loot is because this is actually, according to Xanthi, the home of an order of Flaming Fist warriors. Now, the Flaming Fist herald from Tethir. These individuals don't look Tethirian. In fact, looking over the fort, you can see that above the top of the large building is a huge Baldur's Gate flag waving high. Xanthi shared with you that she believes, she doesn't know, and the reason why she has Shargo in here is to spy on them, to discover whether or not they are involved in the pirate threat. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session as we think about that. So, thank you very much for joining us tonight. If you liked what you saw, please join us next week and invite your friends to come and join in. During the week, our heroes, I'll reiterate this as I said at the beginning, our heroes chat in character to get to know one another a little bit more. And this next week's Campfire RP will be based in the journey through the trees from Port Nine Zaro through to Fort Belawarian. So you can read along in real time as the characters chat to one another through our Discord channel, which you can find via our Patreon. That is patreon.com/Teovanth. If you don't, you can always check. It's uploaded onto our Tumblr a week later. Thank you very much for checking out with us. I'd like to end with saying thank you, Tribulator_, who has followed us while we're streaming. So thank you very much. And we will see you all next week. You can follow us on Twitter at Crituitous RP and follow our Tumblr, crituitousrp.tumblr.com. Thank you very much. Good night.
All right.